So, Miss Marsham, can I say welcome? Please relax. This is all very friendly, and we're really here to hear what you have to tell us. So, if you can just state your name and then please proceed.
My name is Molly Marsham.
Angie, is it possible for Angie?
To read it for her. Yes, please, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I sit here.
You just sit down, the other microphone will work.
On behalf of Molly, good morning and thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell my story. I am a 21-year-old NDIS success story with complex challenges and support requirements. After 19 years, I have finally been diagnosed with the underlying comorbidity of autoimmune-initiated encephalitis by Bill Mantasaurus, a neuropsychiatrist in Queensland. My mum and I met Bill only 18 months ago. His diagnosis, a withdrawal of inappropriate medication and a new medication regime has helped me to be here today. The main reason I wanted to be here today was to complain about the treatment I received during a recent check-in meeting / plan review with an NDIS planner. I was accused of harming Zully and Zully being aggressive to others, but I'm not going to complain because in reality, that would be one drop lost in a big bucket. Instead, I would like you to hear my positive NDIS story, which I hope will be a catalyst for change. And now to the NDIS success. I've had many hurdles to climb: physical, emotional, educational, and social. During my life, I was intellectually convinced by my parents that challenges were the development of our strengths and our power. But it was different in my heart. I've had many, many labels, put-downs, hurdles, and negative experiences. But here I am today, working for change. I don't want to be here, but Mother Bear over here is determined you hear my story from me. I was unique from the beginning. My fixation with blue began at 6 weeks old when I would not play with any toys unless they were blue and with my left hand. I was dominant left, dominant. The right side would only do what was absolutely necessary. Prior to all the assistance and supports offered, I was reluctant to get out of bed, face the world, exist peacefully and productively. I have an incredible support team who meet every 3 months to discuss 3 successes and 3 goals without writing reports for NDIS, a huge cost saving. I wish to acknowledge and gratefully thank the NDIS for providing me with the opportunity and allowing me to succeed by doing things differently. Before Zully, things were not positive nor pleasant, and I don't want to talk about it. Now to Zully. Everyone believes Zully was the catalyst for change. She wasn't. My dad brought 6-week-old chicks home from his school. They spent the whole summer holidays asleep on me. They provided me with the reason to get up, to clean my room, and be able to talk to people. Our family could never understand why they didn't poo all over me. Maybe they were my assistant's chicks and they knew better. When the chickens were eventually evicted, Matthew Sallin, my psychiatrist, recommended an assistant's dog. And so I'd like to introduce you to my psychiatric assistant's dog, my independence, Zully. Zully is a purpose-bred dog and chosen for me, not by me. We picked her up at the airport at 4:51 p.m. on the 6th of November 2018. Within weeks, she was able to tell when something was wrong with me, to alert others and interrupt before anyone could tell there was something wrong, even before I could tell. If we didn't listen to her and there was an outburst, she was able to rapidly de-escalate my behaviour. I don't know if you know this, but it is impossible to have a meltdown when cuddling a licky puppy. If I ran away while experiencing a meltdown, she was told, "Go find Molly." And she found me immediately and would de-escalate the situation. Having Zully meant that for the first time my room was not an unhealthy place to live. I had to keep my floors clean and not hide food for Zully's safety. With time and training, she was able to help me in other ways. She was able to interrupt if I was scratching, tell me if it was safe for me to leave home. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was not always easy. At times it was super stressful. We had ever had pet dogs, and the standard of training for an assistance dog is much higher. There was so much riding on her getting her training right that we couldn't do it by ourselves. We needed and still need the assistance of a professional dog trainer and the structure that Mind Dog provides as Zully is tested every year. She is a full-time support, saving over $250,000 per annum. She's my friend, my confidant, and above all, my independence. My parents have spent over $60,000 in medical bills and travelled all over the country endeavouring to allow me to develop skills to be an accepted and productive member of society. Without additional NDIS support, I have followed the costly path of disability, education, and restrictive employment. The judicial system for violence, the mental health system for outbursts. Instead, my path involves education, success, positive contribution to society, and above all, advocacy for those who do not have the support or opportunity to state their case. A brief summary of what I perceived as a result of the meeting. The planner questioned Zully's credentials and referred to her as a pet. The planner said that people abuse the system and what makes her not a pet. She then said that Zully would not be funded because there was a history of violence and Zully would be of harm to others. I have an excellent support network, and do you think they would turn a blind eye? I totally rely on Zully, and as I try to develop my independence, I have left Zully at home on occasions. This has often resulted in me having to call mum or dad while they're at work to come and rescue me. The planner stressed to me that I would need an occupational therapist report to provide justification that Zully was not considered a pet. My question to the committee is how a report by an OT who doesn't know me and would probably spend a maximum of half an hour assessing something they would have limited knowledge about is more qualified than a qualified neuropsychiatrist. Dr. Bill Mantasaurus, my treating neuropsychiatrist, is very concerned that about the scenario as he has other patients who are experiencing the same hurdles. The planner then went on to say my funding would be reduced for the coming plan because I did not use the entire support budget of the last plan. With my additional diagnosis of autoimmune initiated encephalitis, COVID was not even recognised as a good reason for not accessing funds. Since the check-in meeting, I have ceased going out to places, letting Zully outside in case someone takes her away because they think I will hurt her. I haven't driven anywhere. I have placed immense stress on my mother. I can't make a decision without asking for assistance. I have not been able to focus on my uni assignments, and this was going to be the first year that I completed everything on time and to a good standard. I don't remember doing anything, but I know I have gaps where I feel that I have upset people and feel constant shame and an inability to make up for it. But I do know that Zully is my saviour, and I often find that Mum has placed her in my arms, and as usual, all is forgiven. One of the outcomes I would like to see the NDIS acknowledge public access tested, task-trained psychiatric assistance dogs, what they are and what they do. If a public access tested psychiatric assistance dog is required, then someone like Bill Mantasaurus should be the medical expert, not an occupational therapist. I don't like demands at all and would prefer why isn't. Questions I would like answered is, why did the NDIS planner question my assistance dog? Why isn't there accurately recorded supporting information by the NDIS? This is the second time NDIS planners have accused me of harming Zully and accused Zully of being vicious, and we have needed to waste time and a huge amount of money arguing my case. Third question is, what medical qualifications do NDIS planners have to recommend that I need to go to a GP to get an exercise program when I have had exercise physiology sessions for the whole of my plan? Outcomes I would like to see is, number one, neither Zully or I ever be accused of harm nor denied funding on these grounds. Number 2, why isn't there a recognition of psychiatric assistance dogs as being critical support for some participants? Number 3 is why isn't there access to the script from the recent NDIS check-in planning meeting, and why doesn't the committee review and amend in such a way that participants do not feel shame, despair, and the endless need to fight and justify challenges all the time? Participants with lifelong challenges have lifelong challenges. And finally, why isn't there a review of planner training to include an understanding of complex cases, assistance dogs, and recognising when a participant is under stress? I would like to finish by saying thank you, and that this is Zully, my assistance dog, but put more simply, she is my independence.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
It's Mrs. Marshman,
I
is
would
it?
like to say, my name is Monica Marsham. I'm Molly's mother. This was a girl who, at the beginning of the year, was focused completely on uni. And look at her now. The planner, it was an appalling meeting. The support coordinator from Kalinga had actually attended the meeting. She wrote a complaint to the feedback section of NDIS explaining that the planner did not even stop when I actually was saying, Molly, you need to breathe. They're not going to take Zully away. You need to breathe. She did not. She continued talking about the dog. She insisted that we have an OT report. It is a psychiatric task, whatever, I can't remember what it is, task-specific dog. Bill Mansoris is a lecturer at Queensland University with half a page of qualifications. How dare people say that an OT who Molly doesn't know is more qualified? I'm appalled.
This happened in the ACT?
Yes, it happened on the 16th of April.
Yes.
Sharon wrote a complaint. We got a response saying, and I will tender all this information. There's masses of reports and everything, and I will tender it because I think it is important. We got the response that NDIS don't ever want to upset the participant. However, we will not fund a dog because they're of history of violence and viciousness. We did this the previous plan. We did this in the previous plan. Molly went in and said, look, is she vicious? So thank you very much.
Well, can I say thank you to you all, but particularly to you, Molly, for coming along today. I know it requires some courage to come before a committee like this, although we hope we're all very friendly. But nonetheless, telling your story is very important because it's only by hearing stories of individuals that we can see how this works for people rather than just, some scheme in the abstract. So thank you very much for coming along today and sharing that with us. And I'm sure that Ms Payne, who's a representative from the ACT, will be able to assist in whatever way she can in terms of your individual circumstances, but we wish you all the best. And Molly, my favourite colour is blue also.
And my apology, Molly is an NDIS success story.
Yes.
That's what it's about today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do apologise. Just to ask you,
Yes.
in the statements around viciousness and violence that were made, just to clarify, they've been made by the planner in relation to Zully, but also your Molly's treatment
Yes.
of Zully.
Yes.
Did they provide any evidence?
No.
They just made the statement.
Yes. She was not funded because Zully may harm people, and that Molly was potentially harming Zully.
And given this the experience that you've had, and this is the NDIS as it is, but given that that a lot of these, given that we are conducting an inquiry into independent assessments,
Yep.
and your experience so far, do a lot of your concerns carry over or
Oh,
are
most
exacerbated in
Most
relation to
definitely.
the...
And the specific thing is an OT that Molly doesn't know
Yes,
report on something she has no idea about.
yes.
An independent assessment for Molly is
Where
just,
all of that information from
Yes,
the relevant
that's
doctor will still not able to be
Yes.
submitted to that process. Well, look, thank you for the courage that you have shown, Molly, in giving your evidence here today. To the extent that it is within the power of Miss Payne and myself, we will support you in resolving this matter as quickly as possible. You should never have had this experience. It is unfair and unacceptable to myself, and I think probably fairly to say to the committee as a whole. So we will be working twice. All of us will work as fast as we can to resolve this and support you in any and all ways that we can.
Yeah, I just want to add to that too. Thank you so much, Molly, for being here and sharing your story. And absolutely, as a member of this committee and your local member, I will do everything I can to resolve this as quickly as possible. But also, it's important for so many other people. It's part of the NDIS, and that's why it's so important that you're here today, that you are helping so many people by sharing this story.
We've got 2 people in WA that are experiencing almost exactly the same thing. So this is not an isolated problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming along. Now, who...